It's got a bidet. High five.
Now our decision is even more difficult.
If you watched our house hunting video in Japan, I know it was posted quite some time ago, but there's just been so many adventures that we've been going on, and we've honestly been kind of just sitting on the house. We know we've had a sign-in date actually scheduled this next week because we thought we had found our house. In that previous video, we actually didn't share what house we had chose. That was like kind of the thing, is we had all these options, but we hadn't made the decision yet. So I'm telling you, that last house in that video was the Zushi house, and that was the one we were going to go with. But randomly we got an email from a real estate agent saying, you know, we have these two houses. We just said, why the heck not? Like, before we sign, we'll just find out our other options. So here we are, thinking we're about to sign a house in Zushi, but now we're like contemplating changing everything up.
So today we're going to be looking at two other houses that are much closer to work, which is something that we're trying to consider a little bit more convenience for me and convenience for the girls. How far away from work is really worth it to us. So it'll be a good test to see how we're feeling about the different drive times, the neighborhoods, and just over houses overall.
It's locked now. Unlock it.
We can try. Okay. Press it.
Is there a room?
Oh.
That's nice. I love that.
Yeah. Watch your fingers. No, just use the handle.
Bye, Mom. We gotta go.
It's pretty good.
That water's really beautiful.
That water is so beautiful.
But it's beautiful outside.
Just what we wanted is to make another difficult decision between the houses.
It's like a good problem to have.
It is a good problem.
You alone.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Kidding me. We were thinking the other house out of these two.
I know, I'm like,
Mommy, Daddy.
Some of the things that are most important to me when looking at a house is the kitchen space. Bathrooms is always nice, obviously, but here in Japan, we love the bathrooms. Whether it's public or private, they are bidets, which is such a win, and normally really well kept and clean. We're very fortunate because we have a fairly nice budget here, if we're being honest. Being Americans, they help cover the cost of housing. So we're given a certain allotment and we find a house in that allotment, and with that there's some of the top tiers. So a lot of the houses are nice and the appliances are fairly new. Japanese houses are known to be smaller, so space is a big thing for us, especially because we came from a huge German house and somehow we just acquired too much stuff, honestly. Oh wow. Oh wow. I did not expect this to be here. I thought this was the pantry.
But it wasn't.
But it's a shoe closet.
We don't have those many shoes.
We don't have that many shoes, huh? That might be a problem, huh? I can't wait for you to see this.
oh yeah?
I'll show you here. Look, watch.
Okay, shoes.
I didn't even see that was there.
Yeah.
It's got a bidet. High five.
Just like every single house that we go to, it seems like the Zushi house, amazing. The last one we saw, great view, really nice setup kitchen. Then we get here and it's like tall ceilings, big pantry.
Hey!
Can I have a mango lassi, please?
Oh wow, yeah.
The doors are like huge.
actually nice that this is by the bedroom.
Just sit behind you.
The washing and dryer place, and the potty, and a sink, and the tub and bathroom. So, I like this house better than the ocean view one.
Even without
For
the
a house.
view.
Even without the view, I think I like this one better.
I
Like
don't
this one
like
better for
this
living.
one.
Why not? You didn't like the last house either. Which house do you like?
I don't know.
I like the one I don't know. But now our decision is even more difficult. So we're gonna walk the neighborhood, get a feel for it, see where the nearest train station, bus station, grocery store kind of thing for a few minutes. And now we have to make a decision.
We cannot make up our minds. Here we are at the Zushi house, the house that we thought was going to be our house and possibly still could be. We have a big question mark right now, so we came back here to just kind of look around, feel it out. There's just a lot of decisions to be made and they all impact each other. We need to start making them. But here we are. I love this outdoor area. And one of the biggest reasons why I love this house, the kitchen here is like good, but there's not nearly as much space. It's not exactly the house, honestly, that I'm like attached to, I feel like, because all of the houses are great options. Some have 4, some have 3 bedrooms, but now it's like outdoor area versus proximity. And of course, a view of freaking Fuji not too far from here. Zushi is a beach town, and at the beach, you can see Fuji. And I think that's why our hearts are so like attached to this area. But unfortunately, it comes with a drive every day. A longer commute for Tanner, and time is so important.
I'm so sick of making decisions, you guys. This is a hard one because I really feel like it's gonna like set the trajectory of our experience here in Japan. We already had to give up the idea of seeing Fuji from our living room with the house in the previous house hunting video. That was rough. I don't think we've talked about that yet, but giving up like that Fuji house was like a whole turmoil thing because we thought it was the dream house. Literally could lay in the bathtub and see Fuji. See our kids dancing around in the living room. But it just wasn't the one for us for a lot of reasons. Now here we are with a location that's like, we can ride our bike in not very long amount of time to Zushi Beach. That means a lot to us being in nature and seeing viewpoints, and that's just such a landmark. But here we are thinking that we're gonna go with a different one. It makes sense. We should go with the closer one because it's much closer to work for Tanner. It's the one that provides me more support because I'm closer to Tanner and some of the friends that I've made on base so far. You know, we can go to the library. They have cute little events on the base here. Commute time is much shorter. It's closer. Makes sense. But Tanner and I can't get rid of the idea of being closer to nature, having more space, more outdoor space for our kids to like run around in the yard. You guys saw it. That was a huge perk of the Zushi house. We call it the Zushi house. And this one doesn't really have a lot of it, but we can create it. We can create a little turf area. Anyways, we can't go wrong. They're gonna give us very different experiences. I feel like the Zushi house is more like our German experience where it's like the house, I wouldn't say the inside's necessarily better. They're both good houses, but I was more isolated in Germany. Luckily, because of Willa's Kita, I was able to like create a community. But here in Japan, her school's not that close to Zushi. The Japanese language is going to be an adjustment. And so I just feel like I'm going to be more isolated there and not have as much support. Anyways, here I am. I'm continuing to talk about it. And it has been more difficult than I ever thought it would be.
What are we gonna do, Bug?
That's my thing. So short.
You're holding so still. Good work. Do you want to look? Put all your hair down. Look at your hair. What do you think?
Do you like it? Yeah. We finally made a decision now. The house that we chose is actually the very last one that we looked at, which was kind of like a happenstance, like one of those last minute things, but it feels really good. We're happy that we had that option. It's really close for me to be able to bike to work. It's much closer to the school that Willa will be going to, and it's just gonna make it more convenient for our everyday lives. That was ultimately the reason why we decided with it. We thought about all of the fun times that we would have going to the beach and like walking to see Mount Fuji, and it just sounded really nice, but we had to think about the practicality of everyday things, and it feels really good now knowing that we have something that's close and it's gonna be really functional for every day for us. Some of the other pros for choosing this house is that it does have 2 parking spots, which is sometimes not as easy to find. A lot of times homes in the city only have 1. Another reason why is we're just a few minutes away from a train station by foot, so it's going to be really nice when we want to go on longer trips. We don't even have to drive to the station or take a bus or anything. We can just walk right there, which is so convenient. And being more in the city, we have a lot more options for like food and grocery stores and things that are just a few minutes away, whereas it would have been just a little bit longer drive to those in Zushi. That being said, there are a lot of great pros for why we chose the house that we did, but there are some cons, and one of those is that we don't have like a nice little garden area right outside of the house where we can just be out there and relax as much. We're gonna make it do with what the space that we have here, but it isn't quite the same and it's not quite as big, and we are a little bit closer, as you can hear in the background, to some street traffic. Another downside to choosing this home over the other one is that this only has 3 bedrooms compared to the 4 bedrooms. Now, it's totally gonna work for us, and we know that having 4 bedrooms for only 4 people really isn't that necessary, especially for how small our kids are, and we're definitely gonna make the most of our experience living here. So stay tuned for our next video as we give you an empty house tour and take you along as we move into our place. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.